This is Ospreyeye from mychartcoach.com, and we're going to take a look at some of the stocks that are in play today. Okay, let's look at WG first. This was a stock that was in our video from last night, and the setup was the bounce off the 50-day simple moving average and lower Bollinger Band here. That was holding, and there was a close above the middle Bollinger Band yesterday. That was signaling to us that there was potential for more upside. We are looking for a break above the high close resistance here in December, and that happened today. It busted through that level, closed above the upper Bollinger Band. So this is a little frothy from that perspective. The candles sometimes work back into the bands, but it looks like this is a breakout, and this new uptrend should continue. On a pullback, look at EMA4 at 326 for support. There was a giant volume spike today. Noticed a bull cross on the MACD 12, 26, and 9, and there was already a bull cross on the 8, 13, and 5. So this looks like the start of a new uptrend, and there was a PSAR bull flip, and we have Fasto and RSI now are both in the overbought power zone, but as you can see on this last big run, both indicators were in the overbought power zone. So a stock can head higher at those above 80 on Fasto and above 70 on RSI, then we call it the power zone. So we think this could continue with the uptrend. What we do when a stock is breaking out is we look at the weekly chart, and so this is the WG weekly chart. Each candle on this chart represents 1 week of trading, and as you can see here, there's been this channel going on, this sideways channel where it bounced and then came back up to 3, came back down to 150, and then it hit back up to this 2016 April high close. That was tested in December, and then the share price pulled back here in January, and now there's a break above. It's basically this 325 zone. You want to see a close above that for the week. A close above 325 should put this 425 level on deck. That was support back in 2014. If it can break above that, we're thinking this could run back to the 200 and 300-day simple moving averages. It looks like that's where this is headed. This is a nice, good uptrend. There was a bull cross here. The 50-day moving average crossed over the 100-day simple moving average, so this chart is building strength. As long as the candles keep riding above the middle Bollinger Band and riding these EMAs higher, the chart will be strong and WG will be bullish. Okay, let's look at IPI. IPI is another stock that we've been following. We located this play over the weekend when it was formed these dojis back here last Friday off a 50-day simple moving average support. It looked like a good bounce play setup, and then it followed through yesterday and had the nice bounce, and then today there was really nice follow through. So congrats to everybody that was in this. Notice there's this PSAR bull flip. It closed right at the upper Bollinger Band resistance. That's going to be the key level to break. It also closed with this descending resistance line off of these 2 high closes in December. So what you're going to want to see is a break above this December 9th high close. That would put the $3 level back on deck. For any kind of pullback, you want to see the middle Bollinger Band hold. As long as the middle Bollinger Band holds and the candles continue riding EMA 4 and 8 support higher, this new uptrend should begin. Remember, there was a downtrend, and now this is this possible new uptrend starting. PSAR is confirming that with the bull flip. Notice the green dots bounced or are now below the candles, and then notice the volume. There's been this pickup in volume, and keep an eye on MACD. Look for a MACD bullish crossover on the 12, 26, and 9. There was already a crossover on the 8, 13, and 5. Okay, let's look at HK. HK is another stock that we were tracking, and as you can see here, what we started posting some alerts on this when it pulled back below the 100 and it was hitting the middle Bollinger Band and the 50-day simple moving average. We were looking for a bounce off that level, and when there was this close below on the 17th, that put this $8 back on target, back on deck. As you can see, there's been this channel. Notice since the low here, it's been going up to about 11, drops back down to 8, up test 11, drops back down to 8, and then notice, and then this time it came up to 10, and then it dropped back down to 8, and then now it's bouncing back up again. So now it's hitting the top of this channel. It's testing the top of it, and what we want to see is a break above. Notice here that there was lower highs. There was a high here off of this bounce. This is the low bounce, and then there was this high, pulled back, made a lower high, pulled back, and then made a lower high. So what we want to see now is a break above this 980 level and 10. If it can get through this zone, this 980-10 zone, we think it can run higher. We want to see this 50-day simple moving average turn into support, and the 100-day moving average and the middle Bollinger Band. If these three levels hold and candles form above, keep forming above, that'll signal more upside potential. If the candles drop below, there could be a gap fill. There's a big gap today on this big gap up open. Notice there is a giant volume bar today. This long upper wick, it does show profit taking, but as you see back here, there was a long upper wick on this candle, and it proceeded to head higher. So sometimes you get loading. Gaps, they usually get filled in penny land, but this stock is above $7, so it may not get filled. Notice RSI and Fasto are both in the bull zone, 50 to 80 and 50 to 70. This is showing this has more room to run, that this could head higher. The pullback on today that formed this long upper wick, that lowered Fasto. Fasto was at overbought levels when it was at 10. So the other thing to keep an eye on is MACD down here. You want to see a bullish crossover on MACD. There was a PSAR bull flip. Okay, let's look at the next stock. CVEO is another one that we charted when it was breaking out. This day right here on Friday, last Friday, we put a chart out saying, keep an eye on CVEO. It looks like it's breaking out. It had closed above resistance, this December 12th close and the December 9th close. It needed to break above that to signal upside potential, and there it goes. It's breaking out. Notice there was this sideways channel. Whenever you get a break above the top of the channel, that usually signals more upside. The next level of break was this 280, and that happened today. So this is heading higher, and yeah, this is a nice breakout. You got to like it on this big volume spike. On any kind of pullback, all you want to see is this pattern continue of holding the EMAs. As long as the pattern continues and candles are forming above the middle Bollinger Band, check out how this thing can go. You just continue riding. This is a dream swing trade chart. The candles have been holding the whole time. You can let it ride if you're a swing trader. What we do when a stock is breaking out, like I said earlier, is we check out the weekly chart. So let's look at the CVEO weekly chart. As you can see here, to me, this looks like an inverse head and shoulders pattern formed. Here's the left shoulder, here's the head, and then here's the right shoulder, and this line here represents the neckline. When there was a break above that neckline in December, that was signaling that it wanted to head higher, and as you notice, it's been pushing up higher ever since. That neckline was lined up here with the 100-day simple moving average, or 100-week moving average, and so you want to see the 100-week moving average hold, and as long as it does, there should continue to be more upside potential. What we're looking for now is a break above this current resistance zone that it's hitting, this 340. We're thinking it could come up here and test this 5 range here, the May high close. If it can get above the May high close, then it could really get moving and could run up to 8. But first things first, let's see if it can get through this June resistance back here in 2015. If it can, there's the May high close, and then potential for higher. Once again, this is a nice swing trade chart. If you're a swing trader, when the candles are forming above the 50-week moving average and the 100-week moving average, and they're riding higher above the middle Bollinger Band, riding the EMAs, that's a good swing trade chart. Okay, as long as that middle Bollinger Band's holding, the uptrend should continue. So let's look here at the next chart. The next one is EGLE. Okay, EGLE. Okay, this looks like it's setting up to us. We think you should keep an eye on this stock. Fasto and RSI are heating up. You can see RSI is in the bull zone. Fasto had a bull cross today. You can see when this when you watching Fasto and you see the black line cross the red line to the upside, that's usually a bullish signal. And then what we like about this chart here is notice the tight Bollinger Bands, and then there's been this break back above the middle Bollinger Band, and then the candles are riding above the middle Bollinger Band and the 50-day simple moving average. And it looks to us like with the candles forming above that level, and with the upper Bollinger Band pointing up and the lower Bollinger Band pointing down, that the breakout is starting to the upside. If the candles started working down and they were forming below the lower Bollinger Band out of this tight Bollinger Band channel, this pattern, then that would signal downside risk. So we're thinking that this pattern is signaling upside potential. You want to see these PSR dots continue holding. If they flip above, that would be a red flag. What we're looking for now is a break above this channel here. We want to see this high close. right here from last Friday. If it can break above the high close from last Friday, then this could get moving. And we're looking for our next target here as the 200-day simple moving average at 789. That's what we're shooting for. We think that it could make a move back to that level. Notice how MACD was pinched right here, and then now it's breaking out to the upside. That's signaling the possible start of a new uptrend. Okay, so keep an eye on EGLE, and let's look at the next one, IWM. Okay, so IWM here is the Russell 2000 tracking the small caps, and this has an interesting setup here. If you notice, there's been this channel, so there's been this long channel during this consolidation period where we've been going through this election and this whole process that we've been going for the inauguration, and here we go at 138 is being tested again. As you can see, that was tested before and was failed to break on multiple attempts, and so now we're thinking if there's a break above this 138 zone, then that the small caps could break out higher. Today there was a PSAR bull flip. This was a tight channel. Usually you get a bullish move when things break out of a tight channel. Keep an eye on MACD. It's starting to pinch here on the 12, 26, and 9. You want to see the crossover. There was actually a crossover already on the 8, 13, and 5, and there was a crossover on 80X. And as you can see in the past, on IWM, when it's been running, the green line has been above the red and black lines, and so that's happened again here. So we're thinking that the chart is really heating up. You have RSI now back above 50 and in the bull zone. If you look here, IWM runs higher above 70, so that means there's a lot of room to, a lot of juice in the tank here. Back, on this big run back in November, there was a Fasto above 80 during the run, so it can head higher in the power zone. So let's keep an eye on IWM tomorrow for a break above 130. If it doesn't happen tomorrow, it could pull back and fill that gap, but look for a break above that level to signal that the markets are really heating up. The next one to look at is MOSY. This was a stock that was in play. We said to keep an eye on it. Everybody was on it yesterday, and today it had really good follow through. Congrats to everybody that's trading this. Really sweet move. It did close above the upper Bollinger Band, but it also closed above the 50-day simple moving average. That is the key level to turn into support at 32. Many times when you get a close above the upper Bollinger Band, the candles work back into the bands. So we're not sure if that's going to happen or not tomorrow. What we want to see is we want to see that level hold for an eventual push up to the 100-day simple moving average. If there's a close below the 50-day simple moving average, then look for the middle Bollinger Band as the next support level to hold. If the middle Bollinger Band can turn into support, then a new uptrend could begin. If you look on this chart here, there was this PSAR bull flip, but there's these two green volume bars in a row. If you look back over the last 3 months, there hasn't been an occasion where there's been 3 green volume bars in a row. So if there's a third one tomorrow, that would be a bullish change in trend and something to keep note of. But the historic trend is that a red volume bar could form tomorrow, so that there is a chance that the candles could work back into the bands. There was a bullish crossover back here that signaled the start of the run. What we suggest that you do, okay, and the one thing that's positive too is this RSI at 61. At 61, that does show that there's more room to run. So this could easily, get going right from the gate tomorrow. We're not sure, because if you look here at the next chart, this is let's see here. This is the 15-minute chart. And this chart here is showing the setup into the close. And so this is why we're not sure how this is going to play out, because the chart is really wound tight. Notice there's this rising wedge pattern. There's this ascending triangle. And the candles did close right above the high close resistance, closed above this 115 close. And then, this was the key level to break earlier in the day, the 1045. But really, they're all at the same level. And so we need to see a break above 35 tomorrow and a break above 365 in order to head higher. If it breaks below this ascending support line and breaks the middle Bollinger Band support, then you could see a drop down here to the 50-day simple moving average. So this is the chart here was just telling us that it was wound tight, and it could go either direction tomorrow. So that there was a triple top. You could see 1, 2, and 3 without being able to bust above it. So you know, this chart is wound tight. We'll see what happens tomorrow at the open. You know, there was a bearish crossover on MACD. That's always a red flag. So you want to see a bullish crossover to signal the start of the run. So keep an eye on MACD. If MACD fails to cross over, that would be a signal that it's not heating up. And so yeah, so basically this is a really good day for MOSY, and usually a close above the 50-day simple moving average, it is the bull signal and does signal more upside potential, but it needs to turn into support. And if it wasn't closed above the upper Bollinger Band, it would be a better setup, but it still is a good setup. Okay, so yeah, so thank you for viewing these charts, and if you like these charts, please check us out at mychartcoach.com and our YouTube channel at mychartcoach.com. Okay, thank you very much.